When I look at my plan, I can see there are a number of issues in the way I have allocated resources, as indicated by the red icon on the left, which shows them as overallocated and therefore means this plan is not achievable in its current state. All my resources need to be adjusted from 100% allocation to a 20% allocation per task. If I make that adjustment, my task durations will be impacted, which is fine for my work-based estimate, but not for the tasks I entered an expected duration for. Many MS Project users become frustrated when trying to make these changes with seemingly unpredictable results. Mastering task types will ensure this process is no longer unpredictable. Let's take a moment to look at task types. Now, for all tasks within MS Project, after you assign a resource or unit, the task is scheduled according to the following formula. Duration equals work divided by units. For any task, you can choose which piece of the equation Project calculates by setting the task type. There are 3 task types, which are fixed units. This is a task which the assigned unit or resource is a fixed value, and any changes to the amount of work or task duration do not affect the task's units. You've then got fixed work. So this is a task in which the amount of work is a fixed value, and any changes to the task duration or the number of assigned units do not affect that task's work. And then finally, you have fixed duration. This is a task in which the duration is a fixed value, and any changes to the work or the assigned units do not have an effect on that task's duration. So let's take a moment to look at a table which hopefully will help you work this out in your head. So if you look at the task types here, you've got fixed units, fixed work and fixed duration. For a fixed unit task, if you revise the units, then the duration is recalculated. If you revise the duration, then the work is recalculated. And if you revise the work, then the duration is recalculated. If we look at a fixed work task, if you revise the units, the duration is recalculated. And if you revise the duration, units are recalculated, i.e. the allocation of those resources. And if you revise the work, duration is recalculated. And then finally, fixed duration tasks, if you revise the units, the work is recalculated. And if you revise the duration, work is also recalculated. If you revise the work, then the units or the allocation of the resources are recalculated. I'll just leave this up for a moment, but hopefully this will help you when you're making adjustments to your plan and understand, based on the task type, how Project is recalculating the information. Based on the task type definitions, it is clear I need to set all those tasks where I have expected durations to a fixed duration task type. So I'm going to double click on task 3, assemble main unit housing. This will open up the information box. I'm then going to click on the advanced tab And on the task type, I'm going to change this from fixed units to fixed duration and click OK. Now I'm just going to try and do this a little bit quicker, so I'm going to insert a column here. So I'm going to right click on work, insert column. I'm going to type the word type and select type from the drop down. Let me just expand this, and now I can see all the task types for each of the tasks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also update tasks 4, 5, 6 and 7. And I'm going to do this by clicking on task 3 and dragging that type all the way down to task 7. And there you go, they are now amended. I'm now going to do this for tasks 16 to 19 and task 27. There, all of them now amended. Now I'm going to reopen the task information for assemble main unit housing by double clicking on it. I'm going to select the resources tab. Then again, Bill Street, I'm going to change his units to 20%, and click OK. And let me just expand this out here so we can see it. Now I've now changed Bill's allocation, and as you can see, the work column has changed from 8 hours to 1.6 hours, but the duration has remained the same. And this warning icon here with this little green icon in the corner can now be ignored, as project has automatically changed the work, and that's exactly what we want project to do. Now I'm now going to amend Bill's allocation against all the other tasks that Bill is assigned to, and I'm going to do this by clicking on Bill's name there, control copy, and then I'm going to filter on Bill's name, so filter that column on Bill's name, so all the tasks that Bill's assigned to, and I'm going to click on the first one and do control paste. Same for these. And there, I've now amended Bill's allocation to 20% for all the tasks that Bill's assigned to. Now, let me just remove this filter. I need to amend all the remaining 100% allocated resources within the plan to 20%. And remember, the default task type is fixed unit. So those tasks that you did not change to fixed duration will calculate differently. So before we make the changes, let's look at that table and think about how a fixed unit task will calculate when we change the unit of allocation. So we are going to change the allocation, which is the unit, from 100% to 20%. So we are revising the unit. So on a fixed task, when you revise the unit, the duration will recalculate. So revising the unit, i.e. going from 100% to 20%, will impact the duration on a fixed unit task type. Right. So what I will now do is I will go ahead and make those changes for all the other allocations. And also I'm just going to remove this task type column now, as it's taking up some space. Like so. So let me now quickly make the amendments to all the other resources. Now, When you've finished making all your allocation changes, number one, you will then now see that all my over allocation warnings have now disappeared. As far as the values for the build a new computer, work should now be 265.12 hours and duration should be 62.45 days. And remember to save your project file.